This will be a walkthrough for Tia, a rigged woman character for Blender. You'll get to see what's included with your purchase, and I'll go over some tips and tricks to get you up and running. You'll get 2 zip files, a Blender and an extras. Inside the extras there are OBJ, GLTF, and FBX, and there'll be a bunch of files within each folder. Inside the Blender zip file, you'll get a FAQ with tips and tricks for your purchase, the main Blender file, a textures folder that has all the textures for your character, and you'll get this Rig Tools zip. This is the free version of the AutoRig Pro plugin, and you'll need to install this zip file without extracting it into Blender as an add-on to use all the features of the rig. Make sure you save the Blender file and the textures folder in the same place. This way, Blender can find the associated textures. When you open Blender, install the add-on, so go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, click Install, navigate to wherever you saved that zip file, the Rig Tools zip, and then click Install Add-on. And you should see Animation AutoRig Pro Tools. This is the free version of the plugin, which will allow you to use all the features of the rig. The rig will work for the most part without this add-on, but if you want to use all the features, make sure you install it. The first time you open your file, it should look something like this. Here's Tia. But if she's all magenta, that means Blender lost those textures. So go to File, External Data, Find Missing Files, and navigate to wherever this textures folder is that you saved it, and click Find Missing Files, and then it should reattach all the textures. I rigged the hair and the body separately so that way you can switch hairstyles with the other characters. So to move the character, you need to click the hair, which is this small halo here, and then click the body, which is this larger halo. Hit Control Tab to go into pose mode, and then once you're in pose mode, you can pose the character like you would normally expect. So if you grab the head, double click R, you can make her look around. Or if you grab the hand, you can hit G to move it around. There are also bone layers. So to see the bone layer for the body, you need to click any part of the body mesh. You can see the bone layers here. To see the bone layers for the hair, you click the hair halo, and you can see these two here. So I'll explain the body first. Let's click the body. Okay, so you can see this this blue square here is the main body controls. So if you click just that, you'll see some of the controls disappear, and the ones that remain are the main controls for the character. So you can move the feet, you can move the knees, move the hands like I showed you earlier, you can rotate the body. So all the basic controls. If you click this second one here, this is the secondary controllers. So with this, you can do things like, bend the limbs in kind of crazy ways. You can move some details for the eyes, like parts of the eyes. And you can also use these little squares to scale the body a little bit thicker. If you want to give your character a little bit more weight, but you can only go so far. Let's put everything back. Oh, and you can shift click these two, so you can grab everything. Hit A to select all, and GRS to set everything back. If you want to temporarily hide all those bones, you can click this one here, and all that remains is the halo. And this is nice if you want to focus on the hair. So with the hair halo there, you can click this and see all of the hair bones. Some of the hairstyles I make have several different hair layers because there are just so many strands of hair, but this ponytail is pretty simple. There is a ponytail. You can grab this large shape here and hit G to move the whole thing. Or you can pick these smaller ones to move parts of the hair. Same thing for the front strands. You can grab the whole thing and move it, or you can move parts of it. So there's nice layers of control. Let's put that back, GRS. And same as the body, if you want to make all of these hair bones disappear except for the halo, you can click that. Then click the body, click that main control, and then you can focus on moving the body. The AutoRig Pro plugin I used to create this rig has lots of advanced features, so you can access them by clicking on your body rig here, hitting N for Nancy, going to Tool. Then here you can see Snap IKFK, stretch length, arm twist, there's snap pinning for elbows and finger grasp. So you can kind of I can show you a couple of these here. So Snap IKFK, if you have it by default in IK mode, if you move the hand, if you grab the hand and hit G, the arm just kind of moves to follow the hand. If you click Snap IKFK, it switches to FK mode. You can see these bones switched or changed. Now if you hit G, the arm doesn't move, just the hand. And to move the arm, you have to grab one of these bones here and hit R to rotate it. So it's a different way of moving things. There's also a finger grasp. So if you grab the hand and roll that, it changes the grip. There is a stretch length. So if you grab the hand bone and hit G to move it, the arm does not stretch. If you wanted to have a cartoony kind of character, you can change this to set how far the arm would stretch. So it could go longer or it could go shorter. And there are other features too, so definitely play around with that. I'll put a link in the description below to the AutoRig Pro FAQ if you want to read more about that. Tia has an expansive pose library. So if you click on any of her body bones, hit N for Nancy, and go to this animation tab right here, you can see there's a whole ton of poses. So the way they work in general is make sure you click off in space so none of the bones are selected. And then if you double click one of these poses, then she will assume that pose. So there's face poses, there are hand poses, like a whole bunch of hand poses for each hand. There are mouth poses, all different kinds of expressions. And there are body poses. So all kinds of body poses. This one would need a chair. And then down here, these are visemes. So this is using the Oculus method of visemes. So you can use those if you want to. There are also shape keys for using things like Apple's ARKit, but I'll talk about that later. Oh, I did want to show you the gun pose. So there's a rifle and a pistol pose. So you can double click that. And then I'm jumping ahead here, but if you go to the clothing meshes collection and then go to the accessories collection here, turn that on, turn all of these off, but turn on the Unica 6 pistol, you can see she's got her pistol pose. There's a rifle pose too, and rifle. There you go. Tia has several clothing items to choose from. So if you go to the clothing meshes here and tops, you can see the coat is here and there's a t-shirt. And then some of the clothing types, like the coat, has several parts. So this one you can toggle the scarf on and off, or you can toggle the shirt on and off. Then she has a skirt or jeans. This thing here can be toggled off also. And she's got a few types of shoes, like that. Her hair also has a few options. So if you go to the ponytail here, open that up here, and then open up this top one here with a long name, you can see there's a bunch of different types. So this is the main hair right there. And this is the ponytail. She also has a bun if you want the hair to be up like that. And then the main front hair dangles down, but you can toggle that off and have hair that just kind of wraps up. So it's subtle differences, but she's got two hairstyles. Oh, she's also got a dress. So let's show that one too. T has shape keys, which are useful when you're exporting to other programs. Not so useful for Blender. So for Blender, she has a body. You can toggle that one off and toggle on body for export. So this has the entire body in one merged chunk, including the eyes and everything. And this will export better. And if you grab the body, you can see there's a whole bunch of shape keys. There's 52 shape keys for Apple's AR kit. There are I think 12 or 13 shape keys. These are visemes using Oculus's method of visemes. So if you want those, you can use those. And then it has a whole bunch of random expressions. These are the same as the expressions from the pose library. So there's like a ton of different shape keys. I do want to point out there is a smaller breast shape key here. And so you can use this to change the breast size smaller. I have it set to smaller, so she's more normal here. If you want to change it, you have to change it for the clothing as well as the body to make it match. Most of the clothing and hair and body has color options. So if you go to shading here, you can click any one of these meshes and you should see something kind of like this. There'll be a mix node here, and then there'll be a set of textures, and you can plug in any of these textures here to this mix node to change the color. And then you can drag this to one or the other to see what differences there are. So, and if you click one of them, you can see what it is below. And so play around with these and kind of, you can customize your character to whatever you want. Some of the textures have hue adjustments. So you can see this texture here is kind of this brown color, but it's got hue adjustments to make it pink or peach or beige. And you can fine tune this yourself by adjusting the hue slider. I tried something special with Tia, not because I'm mean, because I thought it'd just be kind of fun to make someone else cry. Let me show you how it works. I wouldn't say it was extremely successful, but it was kind of fun. You can see it here. There's two parts. There's a tear part that wells up in the eye and a tear that moves down the face. Let's show it in solid mode. So the tear that wells up in the face, let me see, let's turn this on here, is controlled by shape keys. So if you click on the tear, if you adjust these shape keys, you can see it goes away or it comes back. So these can be animated. But this tear here, it can't roll down her face. So I made a separate one, this one here. And if you go into the outliner, that's called tear moving. The one that's in the eyes that wells up, this is called tears. Okay, so tears moving, and the way this moves is it moves along this path right here, and the path is attached to the face with these empties. So you can kind of adjust the path a little bit. You have to be careful to make sure the path sits on top of her skin. So you can easily poke it inside. So make sure it sits on top of the skin. Then when you like your path, you can grab the tear and go to this modifier here, this follow path modifier, and you can animate this value here so it goes down her face. And you can also go to the shape keys and modify the shape of the tear. So it's rather simplistic, but you might have some fun there. Tia has a modular body type called the female A body. You can see it by this here. If it says fem A. That means that any clothing or hair from other Tomcat characters that have that same prefix, they have compatible clothing. So let's show you how to bring in clothing from someone else. Here goes Sarah. She's got this sweatshirt. So grab the mesh you want to bring in, go to the modifiers here, click this X here. Also go and hit Alt P and clear parent. Okay, then click that, hit Control C, go to Tia here and make a new collection. Click that and Control V. And so you'll get this. I do want to show you a mistake that happens sometimes. If you grab the sweatshirt, go to New Collection, Control V, sometimes this giant mess happens. So just zoom in really close and Control left drag over the mesh that you want to keep and unselect it. Then hit X and delete. And you might have to do it a couple times until you end up with just a mesh. So now that you've got the mesh in place, click on the modifiers, click on this eyedrop here, and click on Tia's armature. And then it should be attached. Go to pose mode, hit G to move, and it should work. When you do that though, the sweatshirt doesn't follow it if you move the body in move mode. You probably won't do that, but if you want to, you can grab the body, shift click the rig, Control P with empty groups. And now if you grab that and hit G to move, now it follows it. So that's how you add a sweatshirt or any other clothing. You can also import hair from other Tomcat characters. So let's show that. Click on the hair rig here, click on bone constraint properties, and X out these two right there. Then you'll have to select all the hair meshes. So grab that and hit number pad period to find it. So this is a bit of a pain because you'll have to select all the hair meshes. So what you can do to make this easier is you can hide everything else. Let's hide the body parts, hide the clothing mesh, hide the body rig. So this way you can easily grab all the hair meshes, unselect the rig, and just Control J. I'm just doing this to make it easier for our demonstration here. So now the hair is just one big chunk. So click the hair rig, Control C, then go to your character. Let's close this, make a new collection, click that and hit Control V. Okay, so for this you will definitely get this big mess of extra parts. So you have to Control left click and drag to unselect the mesh, left click and drag to unselect the halo. That's the easiest place to pick the armature. X and delete. And you might not get everything, so you can hide your other rigs here. Go to here and hit A and do the same thing. Control click over here, Control click over there, and then X and delete. Then you should have the mesh and the hair rig, and then one more extra part. X delete. Okay, now we got the hair rig. Okay, let's bring back our character here. Let's turn off her ponytail. So now we need to figure out where to link the hair to, which is this halo right here. So if you grab the character's rig, Tia's rig, go to pose mode, click on this halo here, which is her head. If you can hit R, you can see her head moves. Go to bone properties, go to the name, Control C, then get out of pose mode, grab the hair rig, go to the bone constraint, object constraint properties. Don't go to bone constraint properties. Don't go here. Go to object constraint properties. Click the eyedropper, click Tia's rig. This might autofill. If it doesn't, click it and hit Control V and paste. And now when you move the rig, the hair moves with it. Or if you go to pose mode and move or rotate her head, the hair goes with it. That's how you can bring in the hair from other characters. That's it for the walkthrough. I hope it was helpful to you, and I wish you happy creating.